Hey guys, James here from TCG University, coming back at you with another deck profile. Today I'm going to be showing you my Tournalouse deck profile. I had a lot of fun building this. The idea for this week was pick a symbol and nobody else can play that symbol. They all chose their symbols before me, and then I kind of went afterwards just because I wasn't really sure what I wanted, and having a limited option of things would have made it easier to pick and choose. So I built Tournalouse, and I built them under Evil. So let's get in this profile. Okay guys, Tournalouse is a 7-hand size 20 vitality character with Air, Earth, and Evil. I chose Evil for our tournament. That was the idea. Choose one symbol. Nobody else can play the symbol, but the deck has to be the symbol. I chose Evil. Tournalouse has 3 abilities. Before the game would begin, you can search your deck for 3 copies of Torn and add to your staging. So we have these 3 right here. I'll throw them to the side. We can only really need to talk about one of them. Enhance. Add 1 character card from your staging area to your card pool. Your attack gets +4 damage. Pretty solid ability. Stack a bunch of things to your card pool with your characters. Hit your opponent really hard. 7-hander, really aggressive. Once per turn, your engaged attack gains throw. So not only is he a stacker character, so he's gauged to try and get more out, but he also gives one of them throw, and gives them 4 damage, which almost guarantees he's going to build a single character, which is pretty cool. We're playing his 2-dot, because every character from 7th Cross had 2 dots. Tournalouse 2-dot has Breaker 1 as a keyword. Enhance. Your opponent's next check to play a card gets +1. Gets -1. Sorry, your opponent's next check to play a card gets -1 for each character card in your card pool. This works on their block, not just at the moment when you play it. So you add one of these, you somehow get one of these in, and then while this is in the card pool, they get -1, 2. But it only activates when your opponent goes to play the card, not when you play the ability. So watch out for that. For whatever reason, that's just the ruling on the card currently. Respond after a character card enters your staging area or leaves your staging area. Your opponent flips 1 foundation. This just limits our opponent's options, which is pretty nice, especially when we're building and moving things out a lot. Next, we have... this was one of the main reasons I wanted to play Tournalouse under Evil, is for Call of the Dreamlands. Oh, this is getting glary. For Call of the Dreamlands. Call of the Dreamlands is a 1/5 no block that says R remove after your opponent makes a check. That check gets -X. X equals the number of characters in your staging area. If they fail that check, they draw a card, and it does not end their combat phase. Mainly we can use this on blocks, which is really nice. So you force your opponent to fail a block. They can't attempt to block twice, and you really get to push damage through. We'll get to one of the key combos. It's one of the reasons Evil was one of the first deck ideas for Tournalouse when he first came out, is a cool combo interaction type of thing. So we'll get to that later. Then form. Your next 4 non-attack cards ignore progressive difficulty. That just really helps us build if we ever really want to confirm that we're going to build 4 on turn 1 or something like that. So let's get over here. We'll come back to this later, so I'll put it right here, and then I think I'm going to need you and you later. I don't want that one. I want the chibi one. Ha ha ha. So we'll get back to these later, so I'm going to keep them right just on screen, though. So first we're going to talk about, in my opinion, his best attack. The best attack in this deck, and I wish I was playing 4 of it. Just more hindsight. I've never played Torn before. So I actually personally really enjoy this deck and might see it as an option for building things later for more competitive options. Nether Storm. Nether Storm is a 5/3, 3 high for 6 with a 1 high block. Charge, gauge 6, ranged, and reversal. While it's in the card pool, your character cards do not count towards progressive difficulty, which is super sick when we're adding things. And he has his own ability, which is add 1 character from your discard pile to your card pool. Your opponent adds a face down to their hand. So you flip a bunch of things with the 2-dot. You add them to your opponent's hand, debuilding them. And then you're adding with this. So you add 1 in, it won't count anymore. Say you blocked with 1. That's really cool. And then you go, cool, I'll enhance, give this reversal 4 damage. So you block, reversal. You already have 1 in there. You add 1 in with himself. Say you have another one already attached to your character. I'll bring 1 more out so we understand. So we have him already attached. Move these. You're not going to be able to see half of it, but it's fine. And then we enhance, add the 4th one or another one. Then we can enhance, your next check gets -3. Enhance, your next check gets -3 because that's his ability as well. Your opponent's next check to play a card gets -1 for each character card in the card pool. Both of these abilities activate on the play of the card, not at this moment right here. So you can change things. You can play that first and start adding things. But then this one gives -3, this one gives -3, and their next check basically has -6, which means either they're not blocking this 10 damage attack with gauge 6 that you just built, that you're swinging with right now, or if they don't deal with it, they have -6 to their next check to play a card, which is pretty nuts. And that does not say if it doesn't work that their turn doesn't end. If they don't pass it, their turn will end, which is crazy. Next, we're playing 3 Lightning Shot. I wanted to play this because it's a solid 4 mid for 4 that becomes a 4 mid for 8. That when you give it throw, will deal half and still be able to trigger its gauge, which is pretty nice. The card pull ability says your opponent flips a foundation, which kind of interacts with our thing after they ready them. So every time your opponent readies something, you get to flip something, which kind of works with the style of the second half of the deck. And then enhance, this attack gets stun X. X equals the number of characters in our staging area, maximum of 3. So it just means that every single attack, this has stun 3. It's a 4 mid for 8 throw with gauge 3 that flips something if they're ready, which combos into our stuff later, which is pretty neat. Then we have Bargeist Fang. Bargeist Fang is really cool. I'm not a huge fan of the no block on it though, so I limited it to 2. It's a 4/3, 3 mid for 3 with gauge 3, so it's another one of those where we can give it the 4 damage from Tournalouse 1, give it throw, and then have it gain as a character. If this attack's damage is 5 or greater, it gets 5 speed, so it becomes a 8 mid for 7 with just Tournalouse, which is crazy. It's an 8 mid for 7 that we can make it throw if we really want to, which is crazy. And then E, this attack cannot be blocked by character cards. This is just a cool ability that just stops us, that gives us a good matchup versus other 7th cross characters and other stackers. Then we have 2 Storm of Torment, 5 mid for 5. This is with gauge 4 that again give it throw, give it +4 damage, gains us our character. Enhance, discard momentum, search your deck for a character, add that card to your staging area if it shares the same name. It has to share the same name. And then if you have 2 or more characters, which we always will at the start, you can discard this card after you play it, which is sick. We automatically get to discard it. We can gain a character and gain throw and do all the cool stuff we want. And it allows us, if we don't, for the other option, to discard momentum and search for a character. So we can search for our 2-dot if we want to. Next, we are a 7-hander, and I'm playing all 8 characters for Tournalouse. So, Prism Storm of Torment. It's a 7/3, 7 high for 7 with the 1 low block. Ally Deadlock 7, Deadlock Stun 7, Gauge 7, and ranged. Static, that if it is the 7th card you attempt to play during a turn, it automatically passes, no check necessary. And then Enhance, add all character cards that share a name with your starting character to your staging area. So you add all the characters from your discard pile to your staging area, and you don't have to worry about having to gauge them out again. But we also add characters to our card pool, so we will get to gauge them. Okay, now on to the card that I need for our Dreamlands. Allurophobia. This was the main combo. I'm going to pull this out. I'm just going to move these to the side. We're playing 4 of it. Move these so we can kind of see this. I hate this glare sometimes. Allurophobia. It's a 3 mid for 2. Powerful 2 weapon, 4/3, 2 mid block. Enhance, this attack gets +2 damage for each character in our staging area. So it's going to get +8 off the bat. So it's going to become a 3/10 just right off the bat. And then gets 1 speed for every character card in our discard pile. So if we checked any or when I get speed off of those 2 and we play 4. So at max, it gets 4 speed, 8 damage right off the bat, making it a 7 for 10. But we're just going to roll out damage. So right now it's a 3 for 10, which is really sick. And then we can give it 4 damage to Tournalouse by adding 1 in, making it a 4 mid for 14. And then we can remove a card from our staging area, doubling its damage, making it a 4 mid for 28 if we have a card in our staging area, which is crazy. And then when they go to block, so say we do this our turn 1, where our opponent went first, we went second, our character's ready. Without having to use Tournalouse, we could literally just go, cool, I'll give it 8 damage. It's a 3 mid for 10. And then if they do attempt to block it, just go, we'll make you fail it. -4 to your check. They would have to check a perfect 6 and commit everything in their staging area and be fine with it. They would just have to. which is fine. We want them to pursue. We want them in the game fast. So if they don't, they just take 10 damage. Or if we want, we can just double it and make it 20, and then -3 their check still, or just depending on how things go, just mess with them on it. Which is one of the reasons I wanted to play this, was just Allurophobia, Call of the Dreamlands is nuts. And then when we get to build all of our characters, like go to the 7-drop into Allurophobia, we have 8 characters, and just go plus a billion, double it, cancel, -2 your check with Torn. Like we get to do a bunch of cool things. And the last attack in our deck, right? Yeah. Flight of the Wicked. Flight of the Wicked is a 4 high for 6 throw. Does not have gauge, but we can discard the top 4 cards of our deck to give it +1 damage for each of our opponent's face-down foundations. The other half of this deck, because we build and move characters so fast, that we can flip our opponent's entire staging area. So I built the last half of the deck around that, and just getting to go, I'll give this a billion damage. This is just a solid 4 mid for 10 if we have a character on board. Then we give it the +X damage equal to the number of face downs they have, and then just like it just kills somebody. That's the entire point of this card. On to and then the last card that supports that kind of theme is Tournalouse. Respond once per turn after your attack deals damage. Flip one of your opponent's foundations. It's just every time we get one attack through, we get to flip something, getting rid of options and increasing our other abilities. Onto the gauge support. We're playing 3. Leader of the Saintly Beast. Form, discard the top 5 cards, add 1 character or gauge attack to your hand. Pretty simple. It just allows us to see more cards return. And when we're playing a 7 diff where we need to play 7 cards on a turn, sometimes you need it. We got 3 Evil Eye. We add a bunch of characters to our card pool. And Evil Eye just gives us support to be able to do more things. Evil Eye says we give E flip. They're both play ball committed, which is nuts. E flip, this attack gets returned to its printed speed, which is nuts. Just being able to block something after your opponent uses all of their speed buffs into it is really good. And enhance, remove 1 character card from your hand or card pool to draw a card. This just says that after we add a character, we can just get rid of it and not hurt if we're trying to play like a combo deck, or just make sure we have low progressive on our turn, as well as we get to replace it and draw another card, which is crazy. We got 2 Immortality. This is mainly for the E flip. If we block with a character, it deals no damage. Play while committed. Super solid ability, and sometimes you just need throw hate and like shotgun hate, kind of. Then we have 2. Well, I guess those were in the Immortality, guys. Immortality. 2 Section 13's Failed Experiment. We mainly play this because of Evil Eye. We remove characters, and sometimes we want to get them back. So this card adds cards from our remove from game pile back into our hand, which is pretty cool. E remove, discard 1 card, add 1 character card from your remove from game pile to your hand, or E destroy, add 1 character card from your discard pile to your hand. Another card you could have played is the Prism Storm. It's the Prism card. It's the 2 diff foundation from I can't remember. It's Suzaku support. The 2 diff foundation from Suzaku support that says remove to add a remove card to your hand. You could also play that to kind of go with that. But I was playing that one just because it also lets us add a character to our hand so we can block with it and do it in itself. The 2 dots have breaker 1. The 2 dots have breaker 1, and then like the 2 dot on board gives like -X, which is pretty cool. 2 True Identity. This just basically says when we get to play like a bunch of cards in a turn, like our 7 diffs, and we're adding characters to our card pool, that we don't fail our checks as easily. That's about it. I like playing Blood for Blood in all of my evil decks. Pay 2 to burn your opponent for 2 if they block. It just says that if you might come up short on some attack turns, that you just don't. 3 Outworld's Errors to get rid of problem cards, mostly face-ups because we flip a lot of things in our opponent's staging area. 4 is our Nightmare, just to basically ready things. It also helps us if we ever need to play a couple of random cards just to get to the 7 diff. It's cheap, works. Same thing with New Empress Netherrealm. Draws us an extra card if we need it, and just a nice spam that we can play to make sure we get to the 7 cards for our 7 diff. And then 1 Most Trusted Assassin. Basically neg more checks to our opponent, making sure that they aren't allowed to kill us. Thanks again for checking out the profile, guys. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/TCGUniversity. If you drop us $1 at that level, it's 25 cents a week. You get access to all of our content live. You get access, well, most of our content live. I don't record the deck profiles live. You get access to all of our content a week early on Patreon, and then it goes back to YouTube and whatnot a week later. You get access to our personal Discord. You can talk with us all day, talk about our deck profiles, give us ideas. We always ask questions about like certain things like for upcoming videos and whatnot, so you get access to all of that. And then, as always, guys, if you like the Torn deck, let me know down below. Or if you are in our Discord, talk to me about it. Let me know what you guys think. You can always DM me on Discord. I really enjoy talking to people about decks because I just like the game. So, as always, guys, stay learned.